Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and today we're going to talk about something that kind of pissed me off, and it should piss you as a prepper off too. But before we start it, um, if you're interested in what am I talking about? With detective stories, this is the first part of an 11-part series that I wrote called Bloody Crosses. It's in Dutch, and if you're interested, the link will be down in the descriptions. So, what did piss me? Excuse me. Ah, so what pissed me off? Well, since the situation where the Chinese balloons were taken down, I've been noticing that a lot of more web shops and people on social media and kind of influencers are talking more about prepping, but that comes with the thing that they are selling, trying to selling things, and that's something that really pisses me off because these are the people that are making advantage of the situation. These are the people that are fear mongering and they prey on people who are not introduced into prepping, or they are scared or not familiar with all the survival stuff, and they try to sell them stuff that is cheap, bad, or just to make a quick buck. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're not a prepper, if you're new to prepping, don't fall for these scams. I'm talking about the people who are selling like food buckets that are very cheap, but they are undervalued in nutritional values, and they are perhaps big, and they taste like shit. Any person who have tried one of these buckets will tell you they taste like shit. And if you're in a survival situation, the last thing you need is a damage to your morale by eating foods that taste bad. Perhaps they are cheap, and even for bartering, I would not advise it, because if you have one of these food buckets and you barter them, those people you bartered with, they will come back because it just tastes like shit. It is shit and it does not feed that well. So those are the things that I'm talking about. If you're going to buy survival stuff of a certain web shops, companies, or persons, look up their history. I would say look up people who have been in the business for many years, who actually try out their stuff, who are not just in cahoots with some sponsor or some company just to sell stuff and make money. Look, buy the stuff only from people who are really into prepping, who are preppers themselves. An example for this are Canadian-prepper. That's a source in this kind of regard that I really trust. So I would advise go to canadianprepper.com and look at that stuff. It's the best quality stuff to from all the things that I've seen. And even in your own countries, if you go into a prepper shop, look at the reviews of the materials, look at what kind of materials they use, because it's not only the food buckets, it's also things like bug out bags, especially the prefab bug out bags. Some companies, persons, or influencers are selling bug out bags. They are pre-made, but a bug out bag should always be self-made, made out of things that you need to your accustomed to your body, to your experience, to your skills. But those bug out bags that are prefab, they are usually made with the cheapest materials that will break after only a few times of use. The cheapest materials that will be sufficient for perhaps 72 hours emergency situation, but not for long term. And that's something that I really hate. When I built my own bug bag, I want to know what's inside of it, what kind of materials were they using, uh, is it durable? Perhaps it's a little bit more costly, but for those costs, risking for the cost that you put into it, that's something that you will trust with it with your life in a survival situation. So that's worth a little bit more money for the quality and not the quantity. Another thing are gadgets. We all seen these survival gadgets, credit card stuff, and what is it? All these small gimmicks, but those things are also just perhaps for short-term survival situations, but not for long-term. So the materials will break easily. Perhaps it's not being useful for multiple reasons. So everything must be multifunctional, in my opinion, durable, and the material should be top-notch quality. So yeah, it is just a small rant of me. Do not fall for these scams. Look up the history, look up the materials, look up the credentials of the persons who are trying to sell them, and especially if they are just now selling their stuff and not somebody who already been selling it for 10 to 15 years, for example. So yeah, it is something that really pisses me off when I see these vultures preying on people who are afraid, insecure, not familiar with prepping. And yeah, you should be pissed about it too. So I already made a video once about things that are 10 things that I regret buying as a prepper. I would advise you to look into that video. That there you see a good examples of things that I have fallen for during my years of experience as a prepper. So yeah, that's something you need to watch out for. So if you uh, have any bad experience with this kind of stuff, please let me know in the comments. I'm always eager to learn things of other people. So like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you in the next video. Cheers.